tonight we're going to have a discussion over the multiplication properties of exponents. So make sure that you get your date, your page number, and your learning target down, and then you add all of this in your table of contents, just like you're supposed to. So when you're looking at the multiplication rules of exponents, you've got the first rule is the product of powers property. Okay, so product means multiply, and so I'm going to multiply two different powers together. When you multiply powers having the same base, you add the exponents and multiply the coefficients. So here's the rule. Make sure you get everything in blue down. So let's talk about it. The base of this is a, because a is being taken to the fourth power, and the base of this one is a as well. So since they have the same base, the base stays the same, and I add the exponents. So I get 7, because 4 plus 3 is 7. The good news about exponent rules is that you don't actually have to memorize all these rules. What you can do to make sense of it is actually write it all out. So for example, instead of an a to the fourth, I could write it out as a times a times a times a. And I'm multiplying a to the fourth times a to the third, which could be written out as a times a times a. And so when I'm solving it, a multiplied times itself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times is a to the 7th. Now I don't expect you to do this ever. All this is a shortcut. Okay, so I expect you to learn the shortcut, but if you don't understand the shortcut and you're struggling with it, you can always write this out if you can't remember what to do. Okay, so using the shortcut again, much faster. On example 2, it says if you have the same base. Well, the base of both of these is x. So I do have the same base. And it says you're going to multiply the coefficients. Well, my coefficient here is 3. And my coefficient here is 5. So if I multiply those coefficients, I get 15. Then it says you're going to add your exponents. So if I add 3 and 5, I get 8. So using the shortcut, this is my answer, and that's sufficient. But if you don't understand that, you can always write it out the long way. So if I wrote the first term out the long way, I would have a 3, and then x to the third power, which is x times x times x. And that's 3x to the third. Well, 3x to the third is being multiplied by a 5 and an x to the fifth, which is x times x times x times x times x. Okay, well, we know that 3 times 5 is 15. And x times itself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times is an x to the 8th. So that's the long way. This is the shortcut. I'm teaching you the shortcut because it'll save you a lot of time if you have to multiply something ugly together like x to the 20th times x to the 30th. The next rule that you're going to learn is power to a power property. So that's taking something that's already been taken to another power to another power. So to find a power of a power, what you do is you multiply the exponents and take the coefficients to the power. So make sure you write all this blue stuff down in your notes. Okay, so let's try it. The rule is you're going to take this coefficient to the power. So I'm going to take 2 to the third power. Well, 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And then I'm going to multiply my exponents. 4 times 3 is 12. So that's using the shortcut. That's using the rule. But again, just like before, you can write this out and do it the long way. Well, 2x to the fourth to the third power is 2x to the fourth times itself 3 times. And then I can break that down even further. 2x to the fourth is 2 times 1, 2, 3, 4 x's. And then I have another 2x to the fourth, which is 2 times 4 x's. And then I have another 2x to the fourth, which is 2 times 4 x's. And if I multiply that out, I get 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. That's how they got the 8. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 x's being multiplied together. which is how they ended up with 8x to the 12th. So again, I do not expect this. I expect you to know the shortcut. But if you don't know the shortcut, this is always an option. Same thing here. It's being squared. So I don't have any coefficients. So I've got x squared to the second power. I multiply my exponents and get x to the 4th. Y to the 3rd to the second power. Multiply my exponents and get y to the 6th. And I could multiply it all out if I wanted to the long way, but that's not an expectation. Alright, so it looks like we're finished for tonight. We're going to practice the negative and zero and the multiplication rules tomorrow.